Hey, what's up YouTube, and welcome to another great product spotlight video brought to you by me, Joe, the guy you know and love here from Mount Baker Vapor. Always bringing you videos on tons of good stuff, and appreciate all your comments and your likes and your shares on our video. And I have a little treat for you today, something I'm very excited to share with you, something that kind of came my way at an event that we went to recently, and I'd been hearing a lot about it, but up until recently I hadn't tried it, so I wasn't sure what all the hype was about. And let me tell you something, it was definitely not all hype. This is something that is a game changer for myself, and I think for a lot of you vapors out there. The Fireluke Mesh Tank from FreeMax. For those of you that don't know FreeMax makes a ton of great products. And you're about to get to know them a little better today. So why don't we go ahead and dive down and take a closer look at this device, and I'll tell you a little bit about it. All right, everyone, and as promised, there she is, the FreeMax Fireluke Mesh Tank. Comes in your typical acrylic case, just like most of your tanks will. You can kind of see the product peeking through there, and we do have the black edition right here, so let's crack it open and see what's going on inside. And I gotta tell you, the first time that I opened up one of these and I tested it, that I almost immediately fell in love. The feeling that I get from the material, from the steel that this is constructed out of, just, it feels great in my hand. It's nice and it's heavy. There's nothing cheap feeling about this. And I really love this grid pattern as far as the design and as far as the aesthetics of it. And I gotta say, it really makes like taking the device apart very easy, because it is very grippy, which makes it really fun to work with. So I mean, I was excited right off the bat. And then you've got this solid drip tip, this 810 drip tip here, and I mean, this thing is a beast. So if you're a fan of these wide bore drip tips, then you're gonna love this thing. And it is just masterfully crafted, I have to say. The quality of it, the beefiness of the O-rings, the way it sits here, so snug. Whew, got me all excited. So let's go ahead and see what else this tank is all about. As you can see, it's got your standard 510 connection here, and on the bottom it says FreeMax, and it has a couple serial numbers. Now the airflow control ring, just the perfect amount of resistance on that. I mean, this isn't something that's going to be loosey-goosey and you're constantly going to have to be adjusting it. It's going to be set it and forget it. And forget that twisting round and round. No, this stops in one direction, all the way open. For the dual airflow slots, all the way closed, stops. Both slots all the way closed. And like I said, that perfect amount of resistance. And look at the size of these airflow slots. I mean, the two that they went with, to me, when I vaped on this, seems to be the perfect amount. You could have gone for 3. A lot of these tanks use 3 large airflow slots. But for me, this was the perfect balance to achieve that excellent flavor and vapor that everyone's been chasing. 3 mils. So the 3 mil tank capacity to some people might be a con. But you know what? I haven't found that this thing just guzzles juice. I go through juice quick, but when you're running a coil up to 90 watts, which this can handle, you're gonna go through some juice. So you gotta go in understanding that. You gotta have a little cash to burn to buy some juice. And if you're shopping at MT Baker Vapor, we got sales on juice all the time, so I don't see what the problem is. That con, no longer a con. Now it's a pro, because you get to run through all sorts of juice and try as many flavors as you want. We got you covered for days and days and days. It is a top fill. You're gonna unscrew this heavy duty cap. Like I said, nice and beefy. O-rings very smooth. And you've got these 2 large kidney-shaped fill holes, which is great. A lot of times with some of these tanks, they only come with the one top fill slot, and you know, it creates this pressure and it makes it hard to really get your juice in there without making a mess or causing that vapor lock. And this is perfect. I mean, just nice and convenient. You can fit almost any size bottle tip in there, which to me, that's a pro. That's great. When you just screw that on, you can kind of see just nice and smooth. Locks in tight. No problems getting it on or off. No cross threading, which is also a plus. And taking the bottom off for coil replacement is also easy. Just unscrews. And you can see how beefy that coil is. I mean, man, look at it. And one of my favorite things about this coil is that it keeps the whole look of the tank very clean, because the coil shares the same grid style pattern and texture that the tank does, which is phenomenal. I love this cone shape at the top, and it's very clearly labeled 0.15 ohm, 40 to 90 watts. That's a wide range, a 50 watt range on one coil. Granted, they only make the one coil, but that's all you're ever gonna need. I hate when I get a new device and I'm searching and searching, trying to find the right wattage to run my coil at, and I just assume because I think I know everything, which is not the case. That is not safe. And FreeMax has shown their commitment to safety and customer satisfaction by clearly labeling their coils, which to me is a plus, 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 plus. Let's see what else we got. I got a feeling that there's more goodies hiding inside this box, and I'm keeping them from you guys. You pop it open, and we have got additional glass, spare O-rings, and another replacement coil. And you know, that's probably got to be one of my other favorite things about this tank and this company, is the fact that everything is super basic. They give you what you need. They give you the essentials. I don't need a rebuildable deck. I don't need 3 different types of glass for 3 different types of tank sizes and adapters that may work, sometimes work, will not work. Crazy coils, I don't need any of that. Give me something traditional. Give me something I can enjoy. Give me something I can use and appreciate as an avid vapor. And that's exactly what FreeMax has done with the Fireluke Mesh. And I seem to have danced around the whole point of this product. The coil that you see here, inside, pre-built, pre-installed, is a mesh coil. Now for all of you going crazy out there over mesh RDAs, some of you may have loved it, some of you may have not. And I love mesh. Mesh is great in my opinion. However, I understand there can be a learning curve. Sometimes you're not doing your builds right. Sometimes you're not wicking right. And FreeMax has taken out all of the guesswork here. They've sent you pre-built coils, so now you get to enjoy the great flavor and the great vapor production and the wicking properties of a mesh style coil without any of the fuss or any of the mess. What else can you ask for? So why don't we go ahead and wick it up, see how it goes back together, and take a closer look. And look at that beefy base on that coil. Look at all of these right here. Look at that. That's great. All of these threads. I mean, that coil really sits in there, and that's a heavy duty coil. It's pretty great, pretty great. So what we're gonna do, I like to wick the outsides, because that's how I get down. I wick the outsides. You know, nothing worse than a burnt coil. And today I've got chocolate cookie crunch. I know you guys were wondering what I'm vaping on. You guys are all trying to vape on the juices I'm vaping on, because Mount Baker Vapor makes some of the best juices out there. So why wouldn't you want to? Let's get these holes. We got 4 large wicking holes with premium 100% organic cotton inside this coil. You can see there's quite a bit of space in the middle, but you can get your nozzle right exactly where the cotton is, And I just kind of spin the coil around so it all gets on the cotton. And I don't leak a bunch of juice down the middle. I still made a little bit of a mess. That's okay. But at least we know it's saturated. Well, we'll just throw that back in. Still trying to clean all of this cookie crunch off my fingers. And it's as simple as that. One of the other things that I may not have addressed is, look at how short that chimney is. I mean, if I can pull this off, I would really like to show you guys that. But it's super tiny. I mean, there is no long barreled chimney in there. I have that coil making contact directly with that mouthpiece pretty much. So you're getting that dense, warm vapor and all that flavor right off the bat. And it's gonna make cleaning this thing a breeze. And I just love how compact it is. I mean, who needs all that? Fits on nice and snug. Let me find my trusty mod. I've been digging the MVP4s lately. I've been on the go, and I have two of these that I use because they're a 4500 mAh battery that I can just recharge, and this thing pretty much lasts me for at least, depending on what I'm using, 8 to 10 hours. You see I got a little bit of a gap there. Let's see if she reads. And it does. You really kind of got to crank it down. That's good. As you can see, it's very, very flush. I've got just like a tiny, tiny bit of overhang, but really, you know, nothing to get all up in arms about. I mean, looks sexy, sexy, sexy on this mod. I love it. Like I said, I can't say enough about that grid pattern. It just adds to the whole setup. Looks very, very clean, you know. It's not one of these large, bulky tanks. So, like I said, you're not have a ton of overhang as well. Now to fill her up with some of that juice, we just screw the top off. And fill her up. Nice and easy, no resistance, no vapor lock. What else do you need in your life? And the cap just screws right back on. And when it's all said and done, that's what that FreeMax Fireluke Mesh Tanks looks like, sitting on top of any beautiful mod you choose to put it on top of. So why don't we go ahead and take it back up, chat about it a little bit more, vape on it, and see how she does. And there she is, as promised, ladies and gentlemen, the FreeMax Fireluke Mesh Tank sitting on top of that Innokin MVP4, looking all sexy and whatnot. Why don't we go ahead and vape on it? I've got it set right now at 70 watts, and I only have the airflow a quarter of the way open. Only 2 airflow slots, a quarter of the way open on both sides. Let's go ahead and vape on it and see how she does. Man, I gotta tell you, that chocolate cookie crunch really comes through. Even with a quarter of the way open, I'm getting tons and tons of flavor. And like I said, there's no chimney there. So that flavor and that vapor is hitting me right away. Nice, nice warm vapor, but it's not hot. It's like the perfect amount. You're definitely gonna wanna enjoy a warm vape though. It's like I said, that coil is sitting right there with almost no chimney. 70 watts, this thing can go up to 90 watts, so that's somewhere in the middle, but you can run it at 40 if you want, and I'm sure you're still gonna get the desired effect. I just can't get over how clean it tastes. Like, every note of the flavor is just coming through. It's not muddled. I'm not getting any spit back, which surprised me. Very first time I tried it, I was expecting to get a mouthful of juice, but this coil just wicks that well. I did notice a little bit of the whistling when I have it closed off to about a quarter. We can crank it open to about halfway. Still running at 70 watts. Still chocolate cookie crunch. Whew. Getting a little cloudy in here. And that's good. The airflow is nice and open. You're gonna wanna have that good draw. You're gonna want that swooshy airflow that's just giving you tons of clouds. That's what this guy does, and it does it well. Now, if you notice the airflow, it is still a little on the noisy side, but it's not whistling. I mean, it's not something I feel like is gonna be annoying or even a con, but I mean, it is there, but I mean, that's just how the airflow is designed. There are airflows like that, but like I said, the performance on it is great, and it's just that swooshy style airflow. Now, for a good measure, we're gonna crank it all the way open. Crank it up a little bit. There we go. 80, 88, 90 watts. So now 90 watts is the recommended highest you should run. Airflow wide open, and let's see how she does. Oh man, that's the first time I've ever hit it like that. And I gotta tell you, it just blew me away. I just had my socks knocked off right here. There's one over there. That was fantastic. So for those of you looking for fantastic flavor and you wanna chase clouds and you're okay with a 3 mil tank, this guy is for you. And I promise that you are gonna see more fantastic things coming from FreeMax. So if you haven't already hopped on to MT Banker Vapor and bought one of these tanks, you definitely should do that now. Because I'm telling you, every new product we get is selling out, and you don't want to miss out, especially with some of our low introductory prices that we've been doing in the past. Make sure to get yours today online, follow us on our social media channels, and check out more great product spotlight videos headed your way, and thanks for tuning in.